even from Switzerland, all the way to London. Yes, bonjour. The French is up to that. We have 76 people here, which is tremendous. That's a pretty good average number for us. Some of you who have not even met, which is amazing. Hope you'll have an enjoyable time. I just remind you that at breakfast you should be sitting on the tables that are what color? Purple? Purple. They're marked Restoration Fellowship. Restoration Fellowship is the British wing of the Abrahamics. Right? Just, you know what you're attaching yourself to. We're not founding anything new, certainly not inventing any new doctrines, processing doctrines that have been around. And we found these in England when a Christadelphian came to us and said, Anthony, your pre-existing Son of God, the Son, is wrong. So what, the rock that followed them was Christ. Come on, oh yeah, this idiot said it. So kindly, this Christadelphians talked us into the belief, which I think is absolutely true, that Jesus began with Mary. Then they said, well, of course, you're devil. There's the devil out there. That's wrong. You're the devil. And we said, listen, we've been wrong on practically every doctrine. We're wrong now. 2 years later, couldn't buy that one. So when I was being picked out of every church there is, so you come to the great USA, the dream land, and you find a group of people in Oregon, Illinois, who understood these truths. And that's where we stayed for 25 years. I taught in the Bible college for 25 years, and in fact, it's still and so on. Another story, but you need to know a little bit what you're attaching yourself to. We are kind of modern Socinians. Your Christology, your view of who Jesus is really Socinian. But as you'll hear from Sean when he talks about the atonement, which was very interesting, it's not exactly Socinian. They have a slightly different view. I'm a substitutionary person. I think that Jesus died in our place in exchange. And I think Sean will probably at least mention that as a viable view. We'll see. That's going to be very exciting, as will all the talks be. Okay, so you've got that I'm not from Alabama. My accent gives me away. Going to the bank and they say, what's that funny accent you got? Oh, I'm from Alabama. And one kid in Fayetteville said, what part of Alabama are you from? She hadn't been out of Fayetteville, that one. No, this is a modified British accent, the kind of Queen's English, a little bit the snob English from the south, so listen carefully and I may be comprehensible at least most of the time. This is the 25th Annual Theological Conference, so called. Began in 1990. We might have missed a year, but roughly 1990, in Oregon, Illinois, where the Bible College used to be until about 92. Was it 1992 we moved about sometime? That was in Oregon, Illinois, founded in 1935. The Bible College belonging to the Church of God, brackets, Faith of Abraham, which is a brilliant title, because the gospel was preached to Abraham. You all know that verse, don't you? Which verse is that? Good call. Galatians 3:8. You have ready to go all the time. Gospel was preached ahead of time to Abraham. I didn't learn that in the Church of England. Believe me, didn't learn nothing about nothing. That's my Georgia. Didn't learn nothing about nothing in the Church of England. Nothing. Couldn't have argued any Bible doctrine with you at all. Wouldn't have. Okay, it's good to have Cheryl, the widow of the late Kent Ross. Is she with us? Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Cheryl and Seth, her son, will be here. Kent Ross, many of you knew, and we went to his funeral in Ohio weeks ago. Someone suggested a subtitle for our conference, like a gathering of truth seekers and a forum of truth finders, and we might add, who also must be truth speakers, because this way our denominations fail. They don't go beyond the walls of their own church. I know it's easy with the internet for us to do that, and you've noticed that in terms of internet, Sharon is still at it, right? After 6 years, camera work. This is amazing. Everything you do now can go up there forever until the Chinese close down the internet. It's like to be there. That saves a lot of traipsing around, doesn't it? But here's where we are then as a group. Yes, I said here, we're definitely not in the business of just parsing Greek words. I'm tired of arguments, you know, that echad really means more than one. I mean, it's exhausting. I do a lot of stuff on the internet, and really the questions are quite bad. One, I want to tell you, means, it doesn't mean united. Abraham was not united. Well, he probably was united. What in the universe is not united? Tell your friends the word echad means one, and one only. Any noun in the universe can be modified by the word one. Tell me one quickly. So that's just nonsense, but it's prodigious and it is very aggressive and forceful. Okay, many are joining us then by the amazing miracle of streaming these days. That's wonderful. All you do is get a camera and get your husband and wife to throw them in the kitchen and you talk about the truth, or whatever you choose to do. Go viral with it. The whole venture of streaming and internet then owes, as I just said, a great deal to the initiation process of Sharon and Dan. You know their website. And as you see, Sharon is still at many hours later. We have a presence with our Kingdom magazine in about 80 countries now. If you believe in the Great Commission, I do. It seems to be Jesus said, go to the whole world, the whole wide world, and preach the gospel of the kingdom to all nations until the end of the age. And I will be with you if you do that until the end of the age, which is not 70 AD. I will try to stress on Saturday night, and we'll go heavy on that one. But this is part of, I think, who we are. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, if I overlook something, but that's our task. So we're in about 80 different countries. With Robin Todd's persistent efforts, we have a presence of small groups in some 5 states. There are 50 states, is that right? I know it's not being brought up in this country, but there's 45 states to go. If you feel you want to be the presence of this faith in your state, please share your information with Robin Todd, whose object is to get small groups going, mostly of dissidents. The idea is you take the dissidents, the ex-JWs, the ex-this, the ex-that, the ex-Armstrong, right? Ex-anything you like to do, put them together, you've got a church. They don't like the mainstream. They're not keen on that triune God thing. They probably believe in the sleep of the dead. You've got to start. You've got people already willing to mix with each other. Okay, so there are now small numbers of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses with us, notably Miranda in Scotland. We'll give you her email if you want to talk to her. She got baptized by Delroy. Some of you know Delroy. Flew up to Scotland baptized. So 30 years a Jehovah's Witness. Then there's Theodora, in Romanian speaking in Romania. If you'd like to interface with some of these people, please ask for email addresses, because you can minister to some of these lonely, scattered people and be an enormous encouragement. There are only 7 million Jehovah's Witnesses. What are you going to do with that? What is your service? It's not easy. But we are servants of the public, as I understand it, to give to others what we've been given in terms of a clearer view, a more enjoyable view of reading the Bible. What I think we have. We are servants to the public in general in that line. We're going to see 3 baptisms on Saturday out here. I've asked Sean to go in the water. He's younger and stronger. Probably not likely to get drowned. The water's harmless here. And we'll stand around on the edge and do 3 baptisms. If anybody else is feeling like being baptized, second time, sometimes people do, they make that choice. Whatever. That's on Saturday. In your folders, I've deliberately given you a sheet, stuff on both sides, a single sheet, which is to do with Kennedy and Wolfson. Just briefly, what that is as follows. Kennedy, big Lutheran minister. This is what you are up against. You will find that sheet there. You're up against this kind of opposition, you don't even know it. This Kennedy says, and I quote, many people think the teaching of Jesus is important. That's not true. What really counts is that God came and died for you. That's what you're up against. I'm standing here hoping that Jesus gets listened to. This is my son. Listen to him, the voice. Remember that one? John 12, it says the one thing you mustn't do is forget the teachings of Jesus. So this is what you're up against, and this is what you have to work with. And the Wolfson one is even more amazing. He points out that the church fathers, Joe Martin would say, bless their hearts, Dr. Joe, the church fathers said, we reject the creed of Jesus. We don't like the Jewish creed. We reject the polytheism of the pagan world, but we're somewhere in the middle. That's what you're up against. I don't think we can afford to reject the Shema. So you go to all your friends and you say that Christianity is the only world religion which begins by discarding its own founder's creed. If that's anywhere near true, we have a big job to do. Okay, we're busy currently translating into Chinese. That's 1/5 of the world. Mandarin Chinese. So our books are being put into Chinese, which is a great blessing. And in Russia, we have Maxime. Some of you know Maxime, tireless worker in Russia. He has our website in Russian and so on. So that's what we're trying to do jointly, is to get these truths into other languages. All right, so what else here? there's a prodigious and relentless effort out there to oppose him. Just yesterday I got two interesting letters. One said, Anthony, you are an incorrigible heretic. You're obviously a Mason. And I can prove it, this guy said. I'll go back to England and find that your father was connected. I don't even know what a Mason does. But people will not stop at anything to stop you. Please be aware of that. On the other hand, we get enough nice emails saying, keep up the good work. So you get blessed one time. But I'm appalled at the fury against our innocent little doctrine that God is Echad. One. Isn't that beautiful? Now you're talking to Muslims. We have a Muslim, I think, Carlos, coming. Do we have a Muslim coming?
Tomorrow.
A little friendly dialogue one day with a Muslim from the mosque in Fayetteville. And we will be very cautious not to attack. We don't start by saying this and that about Muhammad. Don't do that. Let's be very friendly and see if we can learn a bit about their faith. Okay. What else here do I need to mention? Books are various. We have Robin Carter's worker behind the tables there. Anything else, Robert, I need to say Carlos isn't going to say? No? Yes.
People have not registered, they can register, go up there.
Did you hear that? If you haven't registered, please register in the other building, right, with Robin. Right. So my final point would just be this, before we pray and sing. I want to sing much better this year, because Robin has come equipped with a choir that will be up there who really sing. They're going to belt it out. It will be great is thy faithfulness. It doesn't move you to tears, nothing more. It's very powerful stuff with a choir singing for us. But you belt it out too in a moment after we've finished these remarks. So these conferences, I finish with this, I think are pointless if they do not turn out to be a clearinghouse for essential information leading to immortality. In other words, just treating the Bible like an antiquarian book to be argued about. That's not right. It's a tract offering you how to live forever. If it's not that, it's nothing. Right? Every word is a tract inviting you to live forever. Why not? And you all know that verse, don't you? Where does it say that the gospel about immortality is revealed by Jesus? We'll get into that. I think probably 2 Timothy 1:10. Check me out. Randy's our expert on all these things. I think you'll find 2 Timothy 1:10. Immortality is brought to light in the gospel, and Jesus abolished death. Whoa, Timothy. I learned in school that William Wilberforce had abolished slavery. He thought that was pretty cool. Can you imagine somebody coming in your midst saying, I'll tell you how to abolish death? Wow. That's amazing. Wonderful verse. Okay. So the Great Commission then is to pass on this truth, which has come to us in God's gracious way in various stories. We're going to hear some of the faith stories. That reminds me then, if you'd like to give us a 10-minute presentation, please give your name to Carlos, my son-in-law over here, and we'll fit you in, and you'll tell us a riveting story of how you've come to be in this room at this particular stage in your life. We are servants of God and of the world, I think, giving to others by all possible means what has been given to us. That's all we're doing. The Abrahamic faith, you know, God will bless you, Abraham, so that you can be what? A blessing to others. And you are the seed of Abraham. Don't forget it. You are the seed of Abraham. Don't give your identity away to an unconverted Jew. Yes, there's a future for Jews, I get it. I understand that. But for the moment, you are the seed of Abraham. Galatians 3:29. Very close. Identity is so important. You are the seed of Abraham. That's a huge privilege. To be blessed and to be a blessing. Why not? That sounds good to me. Okay, I think that's probably most of the things that I need to say. Does anybody want to add anything locally? Yes. Yes, thank you. Bill Cunningham has a copier with him, portable. So if you've got something you really must get copied here, you don't want to go into town, please consult the gentleman in the grey and the pink cover there. He has carried a copier with him. What's that? Okay. Otherwise, it's fairly hectic, a lot of talking, not much time for frisbee and other things. Nil time for bicycling, probably. That's not going to work. It's hectic, it's all go, but I think you'll feel at the end of it, it's been worth it. Right, I think that's all I have to say. Now we're going to sing and pray. We'll do that. I think perhaps we will sing first, as we do on Sunday. Let's do that. Robin has one of our favorite songs, which is "Great Is Thy Faithfulness," in the 28 in the hymn book of the Church of God. But he's got a special version of it for us. Can you run that for us now?
Everybody hear you sing real loud?
Not really. No, I can sing. Music is part of my life, but I can handle that. But
Might want to mute it or take it off.
okay, I'll take it off. Right, if you'd like to stand, we'll sing this together. Four verses. Going to choir there. celebrate you as the incomparable God, the unmatched God, the one who is totally unlike all other persons in this universe. We are grateful that you've given to us in your grace that understanding, the great Shema, the great hero Israel that Jesus loved. We ask that you be with us in these next days, moment by moment, step by step, in all of the activities. That we will learn to appreciate the faith we've been given, and we'll learn more things. We'll take home a new and renewed sense of zeal to work for the 7 million Jehovah's Witnesses, the millions of Muslims, other people who need the same truth that we've been given. We ask you to bless us with the energizing, operational presence of your Spirit, that we could learn faithfulness and truth and a passion against falsehood, replaced by a passion for truth, We thank you for each one that's traveled so far to come here. We ask you to bless each one and their families and the loved ones at home. And we're committing this time now for the next few days into your hands. We're praying, as always, in the name of Messiah. Amen. Amen. Please be seated. I'll ask Carlos now to come forward. We will introduce our first speaker.
Hi, sorry, I had to move this. Q&A will be from here. If anyone has questions for our first presenter, Dan Gill, just line up here. Where's my notes? Just to reiterate, thanks for coming. My name's Carlos. This is our second year here. I hope you enjoy it. As you can see, if you don't, just don't look at me, just look behind me. You don't like this face? I sure don't. Yes, we had two big, incredible losses this year. La Brisca, Hemphill. Just want to reiterate our condolences to Joel, who couldn't be here. He wanted to be here, but you can understand why. Also, obviously, Kent Ross, the founder, the inspiration of this conference, 25 years. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here for the 25th, so we place your prayers to Cheryl Ross, his wife, and Seth Ross. Are they here yet? No, not here, but hopefully they'll be here. She's very brave to come. Just to touch on some housekeeping. So we'll start soon with Dan Gill. As you can see, Pastor Dan is a meticulous person, and I think he's still working on his speech. So I'm going to talk for a little while.
I told you you were introducing him.
If you need any help, come to me, please, or my lovely wife, my better half here, Sarah, or Robin Taylor, back there with the books. Those books are for sale, so she'll take care of that for you. Also, baptisms. If anyone wants to be baptized, please let us know again. Just come to me or my wife, and that'll take place Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Hopefully the weather will hold up. Faith stories. People who've been here before, we provide some time for people to tell us about themselves, especially newcomers to us. So if you want to share your faith story, it's about 10 minutes or so. If you can share it with us, we'll really appreciate it. Just come to me as well for that. What else? Oh, we have a raffle again. Raffle night will be Saturday night. So we got 3 books to raffle off. Pastor Dan Gill's The One, a great book he just published yourselves. Is that correct? 21stcentury.org, by the way, 21stcr.org, excellent website. We have Anthony Buzzard's translation, the only Bible we use.
Joke. Joke.
For real.
Not for real.
And is it Outporn, Barbara? The pro-life book?
Yes.
Outporn. Part of Barbara's incredible presentation that will probably make a lot of people cry, including myself, on abortion, the genocide of our time. And that's it. So 3 books to 1, Anthony's translation, and a pro-life book by Alcorn. So that draw will be Saturday, and I did not bring the box, did we? Anyway, I'll bring a raffle box. We'll put it back there somewhere. Just put your name in there. As you saw, the signs on the table were the purple table that says Restoration Fellowship. So that's us. And if you can please bus your own tables everywhere, you are pleased. So if you can do that for us. So you got your folders. No one has registered yet. Do we have the folders here? Yep. And if you're missing a folder, purple folder, just see Robin Taylor over there. So in your folder, you can see the schedule. You can see the websites, including our YouTube, theologicalconference.org, and the humanjesus.org, which is the new website we have. And you can also see some of the presentation papers. Not all the presenters turn in a paper, but some of them are there. And also you can read the papers online or share it with your friends. They're online now at theologicalconference.org. And go to presenters. And at the bottom of the page, there's a folder with is Pastor Gilly here yet?
Do you take song requests? Can we?
Song request, okay.
Do you want to tell people about if they want to listen in on Sunday mornings to Anthony's teaching, or how to do that on your computer?
Yep, so we're streaming this event as I speak. Theologicalconference.org is our website, and you have a streaming tab up there. So theological.
I mean, when it's not the conference, like is the normal Sundays of the normal.
Yep. It's the same.
No, focus.
Theological Conference or Focus on the Kingdom.org. It's the same feed. It's the same stream. So you see it on both websites. So the other website is focusonthekingdom.org as well for the church service. Thanks. So
Stan has left the room.
Dan has left the building. Okay.
Carlos, you mentioned the other two authors upcoming, Sean and Keegan Chandler. 2 more books forthcoming. By next year we'll have them, certainly.
Yep, so Keegan Chandler, thank you very much, with his wife for coming. He has an incredible, I call it a tome. It's
Don't scare anyone.
What's the title? The God of Jesus in Light of Christian Dogma.
Okay, and the other books, sir? 2 books? Keegan's and, Sean Rupert. Yes, also he's got a book which is called
The Christ Question.
The Christ Question. Wow. The Christ Question. So, actually, since I have time, I want to share a quote. So we're called Theological Conference, a name that the Buzzard still really like. But I don't mind. I mean, it is. Theology is not bad as long as it's done, properly. I want to share a quote from one of my kindred spirit. Servetus was a 16th century theologian who was burned at the stake by John Calvin, the Protestant. And there's a quote here that he has. We cannot call our theologians blessed, who neither want nor let others believe, but with their philosophical impostures and their stuffed, inflated volumes insist on moving them from the true faith. Theologians understand scriptures wrongly and twist them perversely from their right and simple meaning. Always understand them improperly and abusively, depraving them with false interpretations that neither fit the divine mysteries nor can be verified in any way. So you can see why this man suffered violence. But just because we're called Theological Conference doesn't mean you'll just blindly follow theologians. I think there are a lot of scholars, theologians in this room. What we should do is take the good and throw away the bad, and definitely do not believe a single word that comes out of anyone's mouth until you, as Anthony said, check it out. Check it out for yourself. Likewise, Paul in Galatians 1 was critical of a thing he called the Jewish zeal of Torah, which led to Paul persecuting the early church. And in Colossians 2:8, he says, be careful to let anyone rob you of this faith through a shallow and misleading philosophy. Such a person follows human traditions according to the elemental spirits of the world, not according to Christ. So whatever we do here is not for our glory or anyone else's, it's for the glory of God through his given Son, Jesus Christ. And we hope that you're edified in this time of fellowship and communion. And I think pastors in the building. Pastor Dan. We can hear you. Okay, let's go. Okay, Pastor Dan Gill comes to us from White House, not the White House. White House, Tennessee. He's a graduate of University of Tennessee, studied biblical languages at Vanderbilt Divinity School and Belmont University. He's current editor with his wife Sharon Gill right here. This is Sharon that does all the excellent video, and you're gonna Photoshop this, right? Video. Okay. 21stcr.org. 21stcr. Excellent. His coming book, Pastor Dan Gill's, is called The One, an excellent examination of the one God, the Father, and Jesus. So he's married, as I said, to Sharon Gill. They have 2 daughters and lots of grandkids. I can't count. 7. Okay, there you go. Pastor Dan.
Oh, it's me.
How are you doing?